For years, battleships were seen as obsolete relics of a bygone era. Then the U.S. Navy dropped a bombshell, a 35,000-ton Trump-class battleship, built for a future war no one fully understands yet. The announcement alone stunned military analysts. But what followed raised even bigger questions, forcing the Navy to rethink how this ship would actually be used. Why bring back a battleship in the age of drones and hypersonic missiles? And how will this ship integrate with modern carrier strike groups and missile defense networks? Join us as we explore the shocking features of the United States 35,000-ton Trump-class battleship. On December 22, 2025, President Donald Trump announced an ambitious new military plan that immediately grabbed national attention. The president revealed the plans for a brand new class of American battleships, the Trump class, warships he described as larger, faster, and far more powerful than anything the U.S. Navy has ever built. According to the president, these vessels would be designed to reinforce American dominance at sea for generations to come. The ships would be 100 times more powerful than previous warships and would form the foundation of what he called an expanded Golden Fleet. The project would begin with the construction of 2 battleships, with plans to expand the fleet to between 20 and 25 vessels in the long term. The early concept design for the Trump-class battleship shows a massive and highly capable surface combatant, built to dominate modern naval warfare. Designers placed the ship in a displacement range between 30,000 and 40,000 tons, making it one of the largest surface warships envisioned in decades. The lead ship, USS Defiant, would weigh roughly 35,000 tons, putting it closer in size to historic battleships than today's cruisers or destroyers. In terms of sheer scale, the ship is striking. The hull stretches beyond 840 feet in length and approaches 880 feet overall. Its width, or beam, is estimated to be between 105 and 115 feet, while its draft is expected to fall between 24 and 30 feet. Taken together, these dimensions point to a vessel engineered for exceptional stability and long-duration deployments. That emphasis on endurance and control carries directly into the ship's propulsion philosophy. Rather than prioritizing speed alone, the Trump class is reportedly powered by a combined gas turbine and diesel system designed to exceed 30 knots while simultaneously producing substantial electrical output. This surplus power is not incidental. Modern warships depend on energy-intensive sensors, radar arrays, and advanced weapon systems, and the Trump class appears purpose-built to support those demands well into the future. The projected crew size ranges between 650 and 850 personnel. While large by modern standards, this number shows both the ship's immense size and its intended role. The Trump class is envisioned as a command flagship, capable of directing fleet-level operations. Rather than serving as a traditional escort ship, automation is expected to reduce manpower needs where possible, but human oversight remains central to its mission. Firepower is where the Trump class truly distinguishes itself. Rather than relying on traditional naval guns, the ship's primary striking power is missile-based, reflecting a modern emphasis on precision and deterrence. Navy messaging has explicitly linked the class to conventional prompt-strike hypersonic weapons, as well as the nuclear-capable surface-launched cruise missile, known as SLCMN. Together, these systems signal an intent to merge long-range conventional strike capability with a credible nuclear deterrent on a surface combatant. That strategic intent is reinforced by the ship's projected missile capacity. Concept art and technical materials point to an unusually large vertical launch system, with approximately 128 MiG-41 launch cells, supplemented by a dedicated 12-cell battery reserved for hypersonic weapons. In operational terms, this gives a single ship the ability to field a highly flexible missile mix. Loadouts could include Tomahawk cruise missiles for deep land attacks, SM-2 and SM-6 missiles for air defense and surface warfare, and potentially SM-3 interceptors for ballistic missile defense. Hypersonic weapons would be held in reserve for high-value, time-sensitive, or heavily defended targets. According to Navy statements, expanded missile magazines and deep strike capability are not secondary features, but central pillars of the Trump-class design philosophy. Missiles are not the ship's only weapons. The design also brings advanced gun systems back into the spotlight as part of a layered defense strategy. The broader Golden Fleet vision promotes directed energy weapons as a way to reduce costs when dealing with large numbers of incoming threats. Reports attribute a 32 megajoule railgun to the design, capable of firing hypervelocity projectiles, along with two 5-inch guns using similar high-speed ammunition. If these systems become fully operational, they would give the ship lower-cost options for engaging drones, fast attack boats, and certain missile threats at close to medium range. The design also includes options for powerful lasers, either two 300 kilowatt systems or two 600 kilowatt systems. These weapons would supplement traditional close-in defenses and could fire continuously as long as power and cooling are available. Still, many of these technologies remain challenging. The Navy previously scaled back railgun development after years of investment. Because of that, early versions of the Trump class would likely follow a cautious path, ensuring the ship can operate effectively even without relying on any single breakthrough weapon. The overall design favors flexibility, allowing new systems to be added as technology matures. That emphasis on flexibility directly shapes how the Navy intends to use the ship in real-world operations. According to Navy statements, the ship is formally assigned an integrated air and missile defense role, placing it among the most important defensive assets in any naval formation. The Navy describes the battleship as flexible in how it operates. It can sail as part of a carrier strike group, reinforcing the carrier's protective shield, or it can lead and command its own surface action group. In either role, the ship is meant to function as a high-value air defense node. That means it is not only responsible for its own protection, but also for shielding nearby ships while simultaneously launching long-range strikes against distant targets. Artwork released alongside the announcement shows a combat system built around an Aegis-style architecture. This suggests a familiar and proven framework for targeting and engaging large numbers of airborne and missile threats at once. The intent is clear. The Trump-class battleship is designed to see farther, react faster, and coordinate defenses more effectively than smaller surface combatants. At close range, the ship's defenses become even more layered. The design includes two rolling airframe missile launchers, providing a fast-reacting shield against incoming missiles that slip through outer defenses. Multiple 30mm guns are positioned both forward and aft, giving the ship the ability to engage small boats, drones, and surface threats approaching from different angles. In addition, at least two close-range systems in the 20mm class are shown, intended to stop last-ditch threats that manage to penetrate every previous layer of defense. The Trump class also places strong emphasis on countering unmanned threats. Two dedicated counter-unmanned systems modules are integrated into the design, reflecting the growing danger posed by drone swarms. These systems strengthen the ship's ability to protect itself and nearby vessels in crowded coastal waters or in open ocean environments where attacks may come with little warning. A large flight deck and hangar further expand the ship's defensive and operational reach. The concept art shows space for a large tiltrotor aircraft, allowing the battleship to move personnel, equipment, and sensors quickly across wide areas. This capability extends the ship's scouting range, supports maritime interdiction missions, and enables special operations support without immediately relying on a carrier air wing. The deeper reason for building a ship of this size lies in endurance. A larger hull allows for greater redundancy in power systems, more compartmentation to limit damage, and stronger damage control capabilities. It also provides the space needed for advanced cooling systems and future electrical growth, both of which are critical for high-powered sensors and directed energy weapons. Just as important is the command role. The Trump class is designed to carry a robust command, control, communications, computers, and intelligence suite. Navy messaging describes the ship as a quarterback for broader fleet operations, coordinating both manned and unmanned platforms. In a distributed maritime operations model, this role becomes vital. The battleship can push decision-making forward, direct engagements in real time, and continue fighting long after smaller escorts have exhausted their weapons. When it comes to development and feasibility, official Navy statements suggest a cautious but ambitious approach. The Navy would lead the overall design effort while working closely with the defense industrial base. Rather than starting from scratch, the Trump-class battleship is positioned as a replacement for the earlier DDG-X destroyer concept, Capabilities originally planned for DDG-X would be absorbed into this much larger hull, signaling a shift toward consolidation rather than expansion across multiple ship classes. This strategy hints at a program built around proven systems wherever possible. Mature technologies such as the Mk-41 vertical launch system and established combat management architectures would form the backbone of the ship. More experimental elements, including railguns and the most powerful laser weapons, would be treated as spiral upgrades. In other words, the ship would be designed to fight effectively from day one, while leaving room to add advanced weapons as they become reliable and operationally ready. Broader reporting has highlighted not just the scale of the ship, but also the scale of the industrial effort behind it. The administration has emphasized expanding shipbuilding and defense manufacturing across the entire country. If pursued seriously, that vision would require long-term funding, stability, a larger and more skilled workforce, and major improvements in shipyard capacity and throughput. Without those factors in place, the program could clash with other major Navy priorities, including submarines, carriers, and existing surface combatant construction. When compared to Western allies, the Trump-class concept stands in a category of its own. No NATO Navy currently operates a surface combatant anywhere near this size or missile capacity. Britain's Type 45 destroyers in the Franco-Italian Horizon class are highly capable air defense ships, but they operate in the 7,000 to 8,000 ton range and carry far smaller missile magazines. Even Japan's Maya class, considered among the most advanced Aegis-equipped destroyers outside the United States Navy, carries 96 Mk-41 launch cells and displaces roughly 10,000 tons at full load. By contrast, the Trump-class concept points to a combined missile capacity of roughly 140 launch cells, when traditional vertical launch systems are paired with dedicated hypersonic weapon cells. That difference is not incremental, it is structural. The closest Western comparison in terms of ambition is the U.S. Navy's own Zumwalt class. Zumwalt was designed around large electrical power margins and is now being adapted to carry hypersonic weapons. Even so, it remains far smaller than a 35,000-ton battleship concept. The Trump class moves well beyond Zumwalt by combining power generation, missile volume, and command capacity into a single platform. If built as described, the Trump-class battleship would fundamentally shift how the Navy concentrates surface combat power. Instead of spreading missiles and sensors across many smaller ships, the concept focuses long-range strike and air defense into fewer, higher-capacity flagships. These ships could fight longer, strike deeper, and operate with less immediate need for resupply. The practical capability impact is clear. More missiles per hull, greater growth margin for directed energy weapons, and a platform designed to function as a forward command node. Together, those elements aim to preserve sea control and power projection well into the 2030s and beyond. The announcement of a new Trump-class battleship comes at a difficult moment for the U.S. Navy. Across multiple shipbuilding programs, the service is struggling with delays, cancellations, and shifting strategies that proves how hard it has become to modernize the fleet efficiently. Just days before the battleship announcement, the Navy revealed plans for a new frigate class based on Huntington Ingalls Industries' Legend-class national security cutter. This move followed the cancellation of 4 Constellation-class frigates, a program that had run into serious trouble. Navy Secretary John C. Phelan confirmed that the new frigate, known as FFX, would be acquired using an accelerated process aimed at delivering usable combat power faster than traditional shipbuilding efforts. The Constellation-class cancellations were driven by major schedule failures. The lead ship, once expected to be delivered in April of 2026, was pushed back to April of 2029. That 3-year delay raised concerns about cost growth, design instability, and the Navy's ability to manage complex new programs. The FFX frigate decision is only the latest change under the Trump administration. The government also canceled the Coast Guard's planned 11th Legend-class national security cutter at Huntington Ingalls. In addition, the troubled offshore patrol cutter program at Eastern Shipbuilding has been partially shut down after repeated delays and performance issues. Against this backdrop, the Navy says the new battleship would be developed through a Navy-led design effort in close partnership with industry. Officials claim this approach would help speed both design and construction. The program is expected to rely on a vast industrial base, involving more than 1,000 suppliers spread across nearly every U.S. state. Supporters argue this could strengthen domestic manufacturing and stabilize the workforce. At the same time, the Navy plans to continue building Arleigh Burke-class destroyers as the backbone of the surface fleet. These ships, paired with the new FFX frigates, are meant to form a high-low mix. The idea is to balance highly capable but expensive ships with simpler, lower-cost vessels that can be produced more quickly, allowing fleet size to grow at a faster pace. It was also recently announced the selection of the LST-100 landing ship transport for the medium landing ship program. The design comes from Dutch shipbuilder Damen and was chosen after the Navy terminated additional Constellation-class vessels. The medium landing ship program envisions buying between 18 and 35 amphibious ships to support Marine Corps operations. These vessels are central to the Expeditionary Advanced Base Operations concept, which focuses on potential conflict scenarios with China in the Western Pacific. The return of battleship construction would mark a sharp break from modern naval doctrine. U.S. Navy battleship production effectively ended when work on the incomplete Kentucky was suspended in 1947. Between 1888 and 1947, the Navy completed 59 battleships across 23 different designs. Once known as the Queens of the Sea, battleships dominated naval strategy until aircraft proved they could strike farther and hit harder. During the Second World War, battleships found a new role in shore bombardment, which kept them in service for decades afterward. All of these decisions come as Navy and Coast Guard leaders warn that America's shipbuilding capacity lags far behind China's. While the United States debates designs and cancels programs, China continues to expand its maritime industrial base at a pace the U.S. struggles to match. On paper, the new Trump-class battleships look like impressive warships built to intimidate. They are massive, heavily armed, and packed with advanced technology. But despite their bold appearance, they may be exactly the wrong answer for modern naval warfare. That tension between appearance and practicality is not new. History has already shown how quickly even the most imposing surface combatants can become obsolete when warfare evolves faster than ship design. Battleships faded out during the Second World War with the sinking of Japan's Yamato, the largest and most powerful battleship ever constructed. By the mid-1940s, it was already clear that air power had outranged and outclassed the big guns of surface ships. In a desperate final gamble, Japan dispatched Yamato to confront the United States Navy directly. The result was catastrophic. Wave after wave of carrier-based aircraft overwhelmed the ship, striking it with bombs and torpedoes until it finally capsized. When Yamato sank, taking roughly 3,000 sailors with it, the era of the battleships sank with it, replaced by a new reality in which control of the skies mattered more than the size of a ship's guns. Since then, naval warfare has moved in the opposite direction. Modern fleets rely on smaller specialized ships designed for specific tasks like air defense, anti-submarine warfare, or missile strike. Even these vessels are costly. An Arleigh Burke-class destroyer now costs around $2 billion. In recent years, the Navy has shifted toward a distributed operations model. Instead of concentrating power in a few large ships, commanders network many vessels and aircraft together. Sensors locate the enemy, while shooters, sometimes on entirely different platforms, deliver the strike. Crewed ships are increasingly supplemented by uncrewed systems, including small robotic vessels that can remain at sea for months. The Trump-class battleships reverse this trend. Rather than presenting many targets spread across a wide area, they would concentrate enormous combat power into a small number of very large, very expensive ships, possibly costing $15 billion each. That makes them highly valuable targets. A handful of well-placed missiles could neutralize a massive amount of U.S. firepower in one strike. China, in particular, has developed so-called carrier-killer ballistic missiles intended to destroy large naval targets. Those weapons would be just as effective against a battleship. Meanwhile, recent fighting in the Black Sea has shown how vulnerable traditional warships can be. Ukraine, a country without a navy, has used drones, robotic boats, and land-based missiles to damage and sink Russian vessels, forcing the remaining fleet to hide in port. China, notably, is not building battleships. Instead, it has shown how commercial container ships can be converted into missile-carrying warships, creating large numbers of shooters at relatively low cost. Two such vessels could potentially trade blows with a single Trump-class battleship. In real estate, bigger often looks better. In warfare, effectiveness matters more than appearance. A fleet of small, uncrewed vessels may not look impressive, but it may be far more likely to win the next war. The development of this technological marvel was not without a cost, as the United States spent a whopping $7 billion in the creation of this magnificent battleship. With its advanced features and unrivaled capabilities, this aircraft battleship has what it takes to redefine military strategies and keep the U.S. Navy resilient in the face of any adversity. What is the United States' most powerful battleship? Can its capabilities be compared to that of the USS Gerald R. Ford? Join us as we explore this huge $7 billion aircraft battleship that the United States is testing. When it boils down to fortifying its military sector and keeping its nation protected and impenetrable, the United States is known for sparing no cost. This is one of the reasons why the nation is always at the forefront of technological advancement, setting a gap between itself and other rivals. An aircraft battleship that was developed with $7 billion has to be unrivaled and magnificent. So best believe that the USS Zumwalt is equipped with the most advanced technology, setting it apart from its predecessor, the Nimitz class and the powerful USS Gerald Ford, in terms of capabilities. Let's explore the capabilities of these technologies and figure out what makes this new battleship better than the powerful Nimitz class and USS Gerald R. Ford. The Nimitz class is a class of 10 nuclear-powered aircraft carriers in service with the United States Navy. The lead ship of the class is named after World War II United States Pacific Fleet Commander Fleet Admiral Chester W. Nimitz, who was the last living U.S. Navy officer to hold the rank. With an overall length of a little above 1,000 feet and a full load displacement of over 100,000 long tons, the Nimitz-class ships were the largest warships built and in service until USS Gerald R. Ford entered the fleet recently. What makes this battleship better than those of other technologically advanced nations is that instead of using gas turbines or diesel-electric systems like many modern warships, these carriers use two special reactors called A4W pressurized water reactors. Now, what does this A4W do? These reactors are simply responsible for making the carriers go fast and last a long time without needing to refuel because they use nuclear power. They're called nuclear-powered aircraft carriers and have hull numbers from CVN-68 to CVN-77. The Newport News Shipbuilding Company in Virginia built all 10 carriers. The first one, USS Nimitz, started its service in May 1975, while the last one, USS George H.W. Bush, began its service in January 2009. Since the 1970s, these carriers have been involved in various conflicts and missions worldwide, such as Operation Eagle Claw in Iran, the Gulf War, and more recently, in Iraq and Afghanistan. The carriers have slanted flight decks. They make use of steam catapults and arrestor wires to launch and land the aircraft that they transport. This setup allows for a greater variety of planes compared to smaller carriers. Usually about 64 planes make up the carrier's air wing, mainly F/A-18E and F/A-18F Super Hornets. Besides planes, the ships also have short-range weapons for defense against enemy aircraft and missiles. Guess what? The unit cost of this aircraft carrier was about $8.5 billion in 2012 dollars, and it is equal to $11.2 billion in 2023, which is quite cheaper than the $13 million for one unit of the USS Gerald R. Ford. Now, a more detailed view of the Nimitz-class aircraft carrier. The Nimitz-class aircraft carriers are really big, with a length of about 1,092 feet overall and a width of about 252 feet. They were supposed to weigh about 87,000 tons when fully loaded, but ended up being heavier, especially the later ones in the group. Some, like the USS Abraham Lincoln, weigh over 100,000 tons when fully loaded. They can hold around 3,000 to 3,200 crew members, 1,500 for the air wing, and 500 for other purposes. They were built to be an addition to the Kitty Hawk and Enterprise-class carriers, and its sole purpose was to make sure that the United States Navy remained formidable in the absence of the older carriers. To make this happen, the Nimitz was built to be a better and even more advanced version of the outdated Enterprise and Forrestal-class supercarriers, although they are similar in layout to the Kitty Hawk class. One major improvement is that the Nimitz-class carriers have 2 reactors instead of 8 like the Enterprise, which enables the carrier to save more space. They can also carry a lot more aviation fuel and ordnance than the Forrestal class. In addition to the exceptional capacity of this aircraft, the United States Navy disclosed that these carriers are built to handle 3 times more damage than the Essex class did during World War II. The hangars on the ships are split into 3 sections by strong steel doors to stop fires from spreading. This feature was added after World War II because of the fires caused by kamikaze attacks. The first set of ships were designed during the Vietnam War, and some parts of the design were influenced as a result of what happened during the conflict. The operations in Vietnam were proof that aircraft carriers needed to do more than just survive. They also had to send out lots of missions into the war without getting attacked too much. As a result of this realization, the Nimitz-class carriers were made with more aviation fuel and a bigger storage for lethal weapons than before any of the previous carriers. This was partly because of the new design of the ship's engines, which gave more space. The carriers were designed to help the United States military during the Cold War. They were designed for this job by using nuclear power instead of oil, which made them last longer, and they could change their weapons based on new information and technology. At first, they were only meant for attacking, but later ships, starting with USS Carl Vinson, were also built to fight submarines. So now the ships and their planes can do lots of different things, like blockading at sea and in the air, laying mines, and launching missiles on land, air, and sea. Because of a design problem, these ships tend to tilt to the right when they carry heavy combat loads that are too much for their control systems to handle. This issue seems to happen more often on newer ships. In the past, they fixed it by using empty spaces in the ship for extra weight, but now they're thinking about using solid weight that won't make the ship less safe. All these problems experienced with these aircraft carriers were solved when the USS Gerald R. Ford replaced the Nimitz class. The United States Navy Gerald R. Ford class aircraft carriers have replaced the current ones. They plan to have 10 of these new ships, starting with the lead ship named Gerald R. Ford, or CVN-78, which is replacing the Enterprise, and also the Nimitz class carriers. These new carriers have a similar shape to the Nimitz class, but have newer technologies like the electromagnetic aircraft launch system and other features to make them more efficient and cheaper to operate with smaller crews. They're named after former U.S. President Gerald R. Ford. The first ship, CVN-78, was ordered in 2008 and started service in July 2017. The second ship, John F. Kennedy, is set to start service in 2025. Gerald R. Ford class carriers are equipped with several advanced features. These include advanced arresting gear for plane landings, automation to reduce crew size, updated RIM 168 evolved Sea Sparrow missiles for defense, dual-band radar combining 2 radars for close and far detection, an electromagnetic aircraft launch system replacing traditional steam catapults, a new A-1B nuclear reactor design for increased power, stealth features for reduced radar detection, and the capability to carry up to 90 aircraft, including various jets and helicopters. The biggest noticeable change from older supercarriers is that the control tower is placed farther back on the ship. The Gerald R. Ford class carriers will be cheaper to run over their lifespan, partly because they need fewer crew members. These ships are designed to handle 160 flights every day for more than 30 days, with the ability to handle up to 270 flights a day when needed. However, Michael Gilmore, who oversees operational testing, thinks the predictions about these numbers are too optimistic. He believes that achieving the same number of flights as the Nimitz class, which is around 120 to 240 flights a day, would be more realistic. The new Bechtel A-1B reactor for the Gerald R. Ford class is smaller and easier to handle. It needs fewer people to operate, but it's much stronger than the Nimitz class A-4W reactor. Each Gerald R. Ford class carrier will have 2 of these reactors, giving them at least 25% more power than the Nimitz class carriers, which have 2 A-4W reactors producing 55 megawatts of power. The amount of power used for making electricity will be 3 times more than before. The Nimitz-class carriers were built in the 1960s, and back then, the ship's systems didn't need as much electricity as they do now. But with newer technologies added to these ships, there's a greater need for power. The Gerald R. Ford-class ships have a different setup. They use steam to create power, which is then used by 4 big generators in the new electromagnetic catapults. These ships also use steam turbines to move forward. Making more power is really important for the whole fighting system. Engineers made sure that they could add new technology to a Gerald R. Ford-class aircraft carrier, even if they didn't know about it when they built it. The Navy thinks these ships will be around for a long time, maybe until 2105. So they need to be able to use new technology as it comes up. Right now, only half of the ship's power is being used, leaving the other half for future technology. The electromagnetic aircraft launch system launches planes using a different method compared to the Nimitz class. Instead of steam, it uses a special motor to push the planes. This way, planes get launched more gently, which is easier on their bodies. EMALS is also lighter, cheaper, and needs less fixing. It can launch both heavy and light planes, unlike the steam system. Plus, it saves water, which means less energy is needed for making drinking water. In the new advanced arresting gear system, electromagnets are replacing hydraulics to slow down and stop landing planes. The old hydraulic system has worked well for over 50 years, but the AAG system has some improvements. The current system can't safely catch unmanned aerial vehicles because they're too light to activate the big hydraulic piston meant for heavier, manned planes. With electromagnets, a turboelectric engine controls how much energy is absorbed, making the landing smoother and gentler on the planes. Even though the new system will look the same from the flight deck, it will be more flexible, safer, and reliable. Plus, it will need less fixing and fewer people to operate. Another new feature on the Gerald R. Ford class is a radar system that can both search and track targets using electronically scanned arrays. This radar, called dual-band radar, was designed by Raytheon for both the Zumwalt-class destroyers and the Gerald R. Ford-class aircraft carriers. By using a single radar with 6 sides instead of 6 to 10 separate ones, the control tower can be smaller. The DBR works by combining 2 types of radar, the X-band N/SPY-3 for multifunction and the S-band N/SPY-4 for volume search. These radars are divided into 3 groups and can scan different areas simultaneously. Later, the S-band radar was removed from the Zumwalt-class destroyers to save money. The 3 sides of the radar dedicated to the X-band deal with tracking things flying low and sending out radar signals, while the other 3 sides, which use the S-band, search for and track targets no matter the weather. This radar system, called the dual-band radar, is the first to operate on 2 different frequencies at the same time, all controlled by one system. Because it doesn't have any moving parts, it needs less fixing and fewer people to run it. The X-band radar has 3 active parts and some equipment above the deck and below the deck. The S-band radar is set up similarly, with extra equipment for each side. All of these parts are controlled by a central system called the resource manager. The DBR gets its power from a system called the Common Array Power System, and it stays cool with a system called the Common Array Cooling System. Newport News Shipbuilding used a special computer program called Dassault Système CATIA W55 to create a detailed 3D model of the Gerald R. Ford class aircraft carriers before building them. The design of the CVN-78 class was improved to make it easier to move weapons around inside the ship. Instead of moving weapons horizontally, they will be transported using advanced elevators. Sailors will use carts with motors to move the weapons from storage to the elevators at different levels of the storage areas. They're thinking about using linear motors for these advanced elevators. The elevators will be placed in a way that won't get in the way of planes landing on the flight deck. By changing how weapons are moved and where the elevators are located, fewer people will be needed, and the ships can launch planes more quickly. But that's not all. The United States has been working on a new aircraft battleship that is designed with more advanced and sophisticated technology. The Zumwalt-class destroyer is designed to do a lot of different tasks like deterring enemies, projecting power, controlling the sea, and managing missions. It can do all of this without being easily seen because of its stealthy design. Whether it's close to the shore or far out at sea, these ships have stealth, are big and powerful, have systems to help them survive, and can handle a lot of data, which lets the Navy do its job on the ocean now and adapt to new challenges in the future. The advanced technology of the DDG-1000 class makes it able to do many things, like operating in shallow waters, attacking land targets, supporting special forces, and being part of joint forces with other branches of the military. Because it can handle different missions and work in shallow waters, it's useful for the Navy all over the world and can support different military groups. The construction of this battleship started in February 2009. The ship was launched on October 29, 2013. Right now, the ship is being tested for its hull, mechanical, and electrical systems. After that, they'll install and test the equipment for combat and missions. The DDG was named Michael Mansour in October 2008 by the Secretary of the Navy, Donald Winter, to honor Petty Officer 2nd Class Michael Mansour. He was a Navy SEAL who was given the Medal of Honor for his bravery in Ramadi, Iraq on September 29, 2006. Construction of DDG-1001 began in October 2009. In July 2014, the shipbuilding company Huntington Ingalls Industries gave the Navy the composite deckhouse for the aircraft carrier. In April 2012, DDG-1002 was named Lyndon B. Johnson by Secretary of the Navy Ray Mabus. This honors the 36th President of the United States and continues the Navy's tradition of naming ships after presidents. DDG-1000, the first U.S. Navy surface combatant to use the integrated power system, can power propulsion, ship systems, and weapons simultaneously, allowing for potential energy savings and readiness for future upgrades. Its wave-piercing tumble-home design reduces its size and noise, making it harder for enemies to detect. This design also requires fewer crew members, saving costs. Also, it is equipped with a multifunction radar, which means that the battleship can conduct air surveillance, even over land and in challenging environments. Featuring 2 advanced gun systems firing long-range land attack projectiles, it enhances naval surface fires coverage significantly. In a nutshell, this battleship is simply magnificent. The company in charge of building this masterpiece is General Dynamics Bath Iron Works. They are also responsible for building DDG-1000 and DDG-1002, while Huntington Ingalls Industries is manufacturing components for DDG-1000 and DDG-1001. Raytheon and BAE contribute to the ship's systems and weapons. For such a powerful battleship, it is propelled by 2 main turbine generators, 2 auxiliary turbine generators, and 2 34.6 megawatt advanced induction motors L. In terms of size, the ship measures about 610 feet in length, with a beam of 80.7 feet and a displacement of a little over 15,000 long tons. Also, it has the ability to reach speeds of 30 knots and has a crew of 158, including air detachment. To protect itself from rivals and engage in battle, the ship is equipped with lethal weapons. Its armament includes 80 advanced vertical launch cells for Tomahawk, ESSM, and Standard Missile, 2 advanced gun system 155mm guns with long-range land attack projectiles 155mm rounds, and 2 Mk-46 close-in guns. With these armaments, the Zumwalt class is definitely a force to reckon with. The Navy, along with its partners, ensured the ship's design readiness for construction, achieving an 85% completion rate before fabrication, the most mature design among lead surface combatants in history. The United States is slowly losing its dominance of the seas to China. This country is not only dominating with more vessels than the United States, still, it is also investing in creating a mighty aircraft carrier that might have what it takes to challenge the U.S.'s renowned USS Gerald Ford. Does China have what it takes to dominate the seas? What are the capabilities of China's newly unveiled aircraft carrier? Join us as we explore the capabilities of China's new largest aircraft carrier. China's ambitions to challenge America's dominance on the seas are growing stronger by the day. With an astonishing fleet of 340 warships, China now has the most immense naval power in the world, surpassing the United States, which boasts a costly aircraft carrier fleet. China's rapid expansion of its carrier fleet has become a serious concern for the U.S. Until June 17, 2022, China and the United Kingdom were tied in terms of the number of aircraft carriers, but that changed with the launch of the Type 003 Fujian. This ship is the largest conventionally powered aircraft carrier ever built and is the third in China's growing fleet. Before the Fujian, China's first two carriers included the Type 001 Liaoning, a 61,000-ton vessel bought from Ukraine, and the Type 002 Shandong, the first domestically built carrier. However, it was designed based on the Liaoning. Now, the Type 003 Fujian is here to change naval warfare. It looks far more like American carriers, with a completely different design from China's earlier ships. The Fujian aircraft carrier is a massive ship, measuring about 316 meters long and 76 meters wide. It has a full load weight between 80,000 and 85,000 tons, making it a huge and powerful vessel. To compare its size, it's similar to the United States Navy's Kitty Hawk-class aircraft carriers. The flight deck is equipped with 3 electromagnetic catapults, a modern technology for launching aircraft. These catapults are considered the most advanced in the world and are only used on the Fujian and the USS Gerald R. Ford. The deck also has an angled landing area with a resting gear, making it suitable for various aircraft types. The air wing aboard the Fujian is expected to carry at least 40 fixed-wing aircraft and 12 helicopters. Some aircraft likely to be on board include the Shenyang J-15 and FC-31 fighter jets and the Xi'an KJ-600 early warning aircraft, similar to the U.S. Navy's E-2C Hawkeye. In terms of power, the Fujian is driven by conventional steam turbines and diesel generators, using an integrated power system for better efficiency. The Fujian's development has been a long and complex process. Initially, the ship was thought to be part of the Type 002 class, as it followed the Shandong, which was officially confirmed as Type 002 in 2019. As the Fujian began taking shape, it was reclassified to Type 003, marking a major step in China's aircraft carrier development. Work on the Fujian started in the mid-2010, with initial construction beginning in March 2015. The ship's development faced several delays, mainly due to tests involving the EM and steam catapults. But construction resumed by November 2017, after the Chinese military developed the necessary power system for the catapults. The ship's launch took place on June 17, 2022. It was named after Fujian Province, located directly across from Taiwan, adding a layer of political significance to its name. Power and mooring tests started in April 2023, with catapult testing following in November 2023, using mock aircraft for simulations. By May 2024, the Fujian began its sea trials. These trials, which continue into December 2024, are designed to help the crew familiarize themselves with the ship's advanced technology. However, the carrier has not yet started the crucial tests involving aircraft takeoffs and landings. Recently, videos have surfaced showing the Fujian undergoing critical tests, including checking its propulsion machinery while docked and testing its cutting-edge electromagnetic catapults designed to launch fighter jets. The carrier is now in the final stages of preparation, with sea trials expected soon. Once completed, the Fujian will join China's Navy, marking a new era in naval warfare and a powerful challenge to the U.S. fleet. Given the global conflicts unfolding today, the timing of a new warship's entry into service could be unsettling. With the ongoing war in Ukraine and the Israel-Gaza conflict, the seas are becoming increasingly active. Often seen as a key player, China is expected to take sides against whichever the U.S. supports. For instance, U.S. aircraft carriers have already become involved in the Israel-Hamas conflict. 2 massive carriers, along with a fleet of supporting ships, were quickly deployed to the Middle East following Hamas's surprise attack on Israel. Their mission? To deter other parties from escalating the conflict, especially with the looming threat of outside interference. The USS Gerald Ford, the world's largest aircraft carrier, was one of the ships sent, yet after its presence served its purpose, intimidating would-be aggressors, it was recalled to its home port. But this isn't the end. The arrival of China's Type 003 Fujian aircraft carrier poses a significant challenge. The question of which aircraft carrier will dominate the seas, China's Type 003, Fujian or America's USS Gerald Ford, has sparked intense debate. It's a battle between two massive machines representing the pinnacle of military power for their nations. This competition could determine technological superiority and which country will have more naval influence in the coming decades. On one side, we have the Chinese Type 003 Fujian. This modern marvel embodies China's rising military ambitions, and, on the other, the USS Gerald Ford, a symbol of America's unmatched naval dominance. The stakes are high, and the comparison between these two carriers comes down to several crucial factors that will ultimately shape their effectiveness on the global stage. When it comes to propulsion, the Fujian uses a conventional propulsion system, which means it consumes large amounts of fuel to power the ship's systems and keep everything running. While details on the exact engines powering the Fujian are still closely guarded, given that it's a new flagship and not much information has been released, likely its fuel consumption and efficiency don't compare to the USS Gerald Ford's nuclear propulsion system. The USS Gerald Ford is equipped with two A-1B nuclear reactors, the most advanced propulsion technology ever created for an aircraft carrier. These reactors allow the Ford to operate without refueling for up to 25 years. A clear advantage over the Fujian, this long operational lifespan means the Ford can maintain constant readiness without relying on regular fuel replenishments, giving it unparalleled endurance. With a top speed of 30 knots, the USS Gerald R. Ford can quickly reach any part of the world, making it a powerful symbol of America's global reach. Its nuclear-powered engines ensure that it can remain operational for extended periods without being slowed down by the logistical challenges of traditional fuel sources. The USS Gerald Ford's ability to visit allies and disrupt potential adversaries across the globe, unhindered by fuel limitations, gives it a distinct edge. The competition doesn't stop at propulsion. Artificial intelligence and automation also play a significant role in determining an aircraft carrier's overall capability. The USS Gerald Ford is equipped with one of the most advanced AI and automation systems in naval history. Building on the legacy of its predecessors in the Nimitz class, the Ford integrates cutting-edge technology that streamlines operations, enhances decision-making, and reduces the need for human intervention. This level of automation makes the USS Gerald Ford incredibly efficient and operationally flexible. On the other hand, China has kept much of the information regarding Fujian's AI and automation systems under wraps. While it's clear that the Chinese carrier is equipped with modern technology, it's unlikely to surpass the level of AI sophistication present on the USS Gerald Ford. Given Ford's proven track record of pushing the boundaries of naval automation, it's safe to say that the Chinese Fujian has a long way to go to catch up in this area. The advanced AI systems aboard the Ford assist in managing the ship's operations and play a key role in optimizing flight operations, making it a formidable force on the seas. The USS Ford is truly a marvel of modern technology, unlike anything the world has ever seen. This aircraft carrier has revolutionized naval warfare with artificial intelligence integrated into nearly every operation. From automated systems to unmanned vehicles, the ship is designed to function with a level of efficiency and ease that far surpasses traditional carriers. These technological components significantly reduce the complexity of operating the ship. In fact, the USS Ford has a crew of just 4,500 personnel, which is much smaller than the 6,000-plus crew members typically found on Nimitz-class carriers of similar size. This smaller crew size means that the Ford has more internal space, which can be dedicated to advanced systems, weapons, and even amenities designed to enhance the crew's quality of life. Ergonomic spaces, gymnasiums, and other life improvement features are incorporated, ensuring the crew has everything they need to stay healthy and energized. This is crucial because a carrier's success and agility depend on the well-being of its crew. A happy, well-rested, and efficient crew can keep the carrier agile and ready for any mission. Regarding sensors and processing systems, both the USS Ford and China's Fujian aircraft carriers stand out with their state-of-the-art technology. The Fujian, for instance, is equipped with an advanced integrated power system that significantly improves the efficiency of its power distribution. This upgrade boosts the performance of the ship's sensors and other crucial systems. One of the key components is its active electronically scanned array radar, which enables the Fujian to detect and track multiple targets at once, giving it superior situational awareness. Supporting this radar are additional sensors including 4 S-band Dragon-I Type 346 radars and 4 smaller X-band AESA radar panels. These systems allow the Fujian to maintain a cutting-edge capability for surveillance and tracking. On the other hand, the USS Ford takes a more unique approach with its sensor and processing systems. Unlike almost every other aircraft carrier in the world, the Ford features a single system for horizon and volume search, known as the AN/SPY-3 radar. This innovative system combines 2 essential functions into one, providing more precise and efficient tracking and identification of multiple targets across vast distances. This integration reduces the number of separate systems needed and ensures that the Ford's radar system is streamlined and highly effective. The ability to seamlessly track airborne and surface targets simultaneously makes the Ford incredibly versatile and formidable. In both cases, the advanced technologies on these carriers are pushing the boundaries of what's possible in naval defense. The integration of AI, automated systems, and next-generation radar technologies ensures that these ships are ready to meet the challenges of modern warfare, all while providing improved operational efficiency and a better quality of life for the crew. These advancements are setting a new standard for naval power, and the USS Ford and Fujian are leading the way. The cutting-edge radar system on the Type 003 Fujian aircraft carrier is among the most advanced in the world. This multifunctional radar, which uses an active electronically scanned array, is equipped with the most sensitive sensors, making it capable of managing numerous tasks at once. It can perform surveillance, handle air traffic control, manage missile systems, facilitate communications, and detect targets up to 80 miles away. This level of capability is unmatched by any radar system in the U.S. The air wing aboard the Fujian is set to be a formidable force. Its primary aircraft will likely be the naval version of China's Shenyang FC-31, known as the J-35, a fifth-generation fighter designed to compete with the United States F-35 Lightning II. The Fujian could also deploy the KJ-600, a surveillance aircraft similar to the U.S. Navy's E-2D Hawkeye. Along with these fighters, the carrier may carry a variety of rotary wing aircraft and unmanned aerial vehicles, although the exact number remains unclear. Weighing 80,000 tons, the Fujian is slightly smaller than the USS Gerald R. Ford, which weighs 100,000 tons. Despite its smaller size, the Fujian will still be a powerful force, but the USS Ford can carry up to 75 aircraft, including the F-35 Lightning II, often praised as the most advanced fighter in history due to its sophisticated sensors and combat systems. While the J-35 aims to replicate the F-35, it doesn't quite surpass the original. Another remarkable feature of the Fujian is its electromagnetic launch system, placing China among only 3 nations, along with the US and France, that possess this advanced technology. This system, a significant leap from the traditional steam-powered launch systems, or ski ramps, offers much greater efficiency and capability in launching aircraft, marking a significant technological achievement for China's naval capabilities. Aircraft carriers are impressive feats of engineering, capable of launching a wide variety of both manned and unmanned aircraft across short distances without damaging them. The Fujian, China's latest carrier, features 3 of these powerful systems, while the USS Ford, the U.S. Navy's flagship, has 4. These catapult systems allow planes to launch efficiently and quickly, while the arresting systems, on the other hand, safely stop incoming aircraft in a short space, ensuring they don't end up in the ocean. Both the Fujian and Ford have these arresting gears, essential for any carrier. The older American carriers also utilize electromagnetic launch and arrest systems, giving the U.S. Navy decades of experience in these technologies. While the Fujian is a major milestone for China, it's still new to building such advanced carriers. In contrast, the U.S. has years of expertise. Although China is catching up, the USS Ford still outshines the Fujian in terms of capabilities. However, with both nations building newer carriers, only time will tell if the U.S. can maintain its lead or if China will eventually overtake them. Although China is working to close the gap, the competition is set to intensify with advancements like the Type 004 aircraft carrier. This planned supercarrier represents a significant leap in China's naval ambitions, designed as a larger and more powerful successor to the Type 003. Like the Type 003, the Type 004 will have an advanced electric propulsion system, allowing it to use cutting-edge electromagnetic catapults for launching aircraft. However, unlike its predecessor, the Type 004 will be much larger and the first Chinese aircraft carrier to be powered by nuclear energy. China has ambitious plans for the Type 004, hoping to complete it by the late 2020s, with the possibility of building up to 4 of these giants. In 2017, the Chinese government allocated $3.3 billion to develop
with these
new
two nuclear
technology for
reactors,
molten
one
salt
positioned
nuclear
at the
reactors,
front and the
which
other
will be used
situated
to
here.
power the Type 004
This nuclear
and other military ships in the future. These reactors were expected to be operational by 2020, showing how committed China is to advancing its naval power. As for the construction, things started to take shape in late 2017, when huge 1,600-ton cranes were installed at Jiangnan shipyard. This sparked rumors that the Type 004 would be built there. Later, China's shipbuilding industry also hinted that Dalian Shipyard would be involved in making the nuclear-powered carrier. By early 2018, reports even suggested that metal cutting for the ship had already begun, showing how fast the project was moving. When it comes to aircraft, the Type 004 is expected to carry a variety of powerful planes, including the J-15 and J-35 fighters, KJ-600 early warning planes, and anti-submarine warfare aircraft. There's also a possibility that stealth drones could be deployed from this carrier. Although there were earlier rumors that the J-20 fighter might be used on this ship, experts like Rear Admiral Zhang Zhaozhong have ruled it out. The J-20, with its large design and lack of folding wings, isn't suited for carrier operations. Plus, its stealth coating could wear off in the harsh conditions at sea, making it impractical for the Type 004. On the other hand, the United States is not slowing down as well. HI recently announced a major milestone in shipbuilding as its Newport News shipbuilding division successfully transferred the mid-body hull section of the Gerald R. Ford-class aircraft carrier Enterprise. This move allows the shipyard to begin constructing 2 Gerald R. Ford-class carriers in the same dry dock simultaneously. The process kicked off on October 31, when the dry dock was carefully filled with over 100 million gallons of water, marking the first time CVN-80 was floated. It was then moved to the west end of the dry dock for further construction work. Early next year, work will begin on assembling the Doris Miller in the east end of the dry dock, making history as the first time 2 Ford-class carriers will be built at the same time in the same dock. This dual construction is made possible by the 2019 CVN-80 and 81 two-ship contract modification and the upgrades to the dry dock, funded by HII and the U.S. Navy. Les Smith, NNS Vice President for Enterprise and Doris Miller programs, highlighted the significance of this achievement, noting that the Enterprise follows in the footsteps of its predecessor, the first nuclear-powered carrier Enterprise, also built at Newport News. Newport News Shipbuilding is the only shipyard capable of designing, building, and refueling nuclear-powered aircraft carriers for the Navy. Enterprise is the first carrier to be designed and built using digital methods, with shipbuilders using laptops and tablets for work instructions instead of traditional paper drawings. HII, a global defense leader, continues to provide cutting-edge solutions in shipbuilding, unmanned systems, cybersecurity, AI, ML, and other areas vital to advancing U.S. national security. The sky above the USS Gerald Ford lit up with a bright blue flash as something incredible took place. After nearly a century of struggle, the United States Navy had finally solved one of its biggest challenges. Carrier-based jets could now match or even surpass land-based fighters. For years, aircraft carriers had a major disadvantage. Their jets had to be smaller, lighter, and carry less fuel compared to those launching from land. As countries like China and Russia built powerful land-based fighters and long-range missiles, many experts doubted whether carriers could hold their ground in modern warfare. That changed with the Navy's next-generation air dominance fighter. Unlike the older FA-18 Super Hornets, this new jet brought futuristic technology that had once seemed impossible. It wasn't just a single aircraft, it was the leader of a small team. Each NGAD fighter was paired with autonomous drones, commonly called collaborative combat aircraft. These drones carried extra weapons, sensors, and fuel, following the lead fighter's commands while also making quick decisions on their own. A single pilot could now manage what used to take several people. The USS Gerald Ford's firepower grew even stronger with the addition of the Helios laser weapon system. This powerful 150-kilowatt laser could track and destroy incoming missiles and enemy drones almost instantly. Unlike traditional missiles that could run out, the laser remained operational as long as the ship had power. Most people had no idea how fast this technology was advancing. When an Air Force official revealed in 2020 that a test version of the NGAD fighter had already flown, defense experts were caught off guard. The Navy had been quietly working on this breakthrough for more than 7 years, replacing outdated systems from the 1990s with cutting-edge technology designed for the future. The USS Gerald Ford was designed with cutting-edge advancements in mind. As the Navy's most sophisticated aircraft carrier, it featured electromagnetic catapults that propelled aircraft more swiftly and effectively than traditional steam-powered systems. Its nuclear reactors generated the vast energy required for the Helios laser. The NGAD fighter also looked completely different from older jets. It had no vertical tail fins and featured a sleek triangular design, allowing it to fly in ways that would have made traditional aircraft lose control. Advanced computer systems made thousands of tiny adjustments every second to keep it steady and maneuverable. In training exercises, the results spoke for themselves. Against experienced pilots flying F-35s, the NGAD fighter and its robotic wingmen won nearly every simulated battle. The difference was overwhelming. For countries that had spent billions developing anti-ship missiles to keep United States carriers at a distance, this presented a serious problem. With these new jets, carriers could now operate much closer to enemy territory without fear. For the first time since World War II, carrier-based jets weren't just keeping up with land-based fighters, they were better. This wasn't just an upgrade. As the sun set behind the carrier, the new fighter launched into the night, its silhouette blending into the sky. The aircraft represented a development in naval warfare. What happens when these advanced fighters go beyond the clouds and into the vast darkness of space? Could the next generation of American warplanes be used as spacecraft? Engineers across America are already working on technologies beyond those used on the USS Gerald Ford. While naval aviation advances, the next leap is happening in secret labs. The goal isn't just faster planes, it's aircraft that can move between air and space. These next-generation hypersonic fighters could transform aerial combat. Traveling above Mach 5, more than 6,000 kilometers per hour, they could cross continents in minutes. A fighter this fast could fly from New York to Los Angeles in under 30 minutes, making it nearly impossible to track, let alone stop. Building such an aircraft comes with massive challenges. At extreme speeds, air friction generates heat strong enough to melt standard materials. To solve this, the Air Force and NASA are developing heat-resistant composites that can withstand over 2,000 degrees Celsius without breaking apart. Propulsion is another hurdle. Regular jet engines can't function well at extreme speeds or in the thin upper atmosphere. That's where scramjets come in. Unlike traditional engines, scramjets have no moving parts. They use the aircraft's speed to compress incoming air, generating thrust. Since 2018, the Air Force's Mayhem project has been testing scramjet prototypes, gradually improving their performance. Unlike earlier fighter jets, these advanced aircraft wouldn't just fly high, they could briefly leave Earth's atmosphere. By reaching altitudes above 100 kilometers, they could enter a suborbital path, skipping across the upper atmosphere like a stone across water. This would allow them to strike targets with almost no warning, conduct surveillance from altitudes beyond the reach of anti-aircraft weapons, and even deploy small satellites to restore communications in combat zones. The United States military has been quietly funding this research for years. DARPA has been working on airspace transition vehicles since 2020, focusing on designs that can move between the atmosphere and space without rockets or launch pads. But breaking into space creates new risks. Outside Earth's atmosphere, cosmic radiation can damage electronics and pose health risks to pilots. Engineers are developing shielding and radiation-resistant computer systems to keep these aircraft safe. Fuel is another challenge. Traditional jets can refuel mid-air, but space-capable aircraft need an energy source powerful enough to push them beyond most of Earth's gravity and still bring them back safely. Advanced hydrogen propulsion is one possible solution, providing high energy output with only water as a byproduct. The race to develop this technology is already underway. China is rapidly increasing its hypersonic research budget, while Russia's PAKDP program is working on similar aircraft. Any country that masters space-capable fighters will gain a major military advantage. This also raises legal questions. The 1967 Outer Space Treaty bans nuclear weapons in space, but doesn't address conventional weapons or temporary military operations beyond Earth's atmosphere. This loophole has sparked new debates at the United Nations about the future of space warfare. Even the best pilots would need entirely new training for these aircraft. At hypersonic speeds, decisions must be made in milliseconds, too fast for human reaction times. AI assistance and augmented reality systems would have to predict and respond to problems before they happen. The Air Force is already preparing for this future. Specialized bases are being upgraded to support these hybrid airspace vehicles, with reinforced hangars, advanced cooling systems, and specialized fuel storage facilities built to handle the extreme demands of hypersonic flight. While sixth-generation fighters represent the future of modern warfare, these seventh-generation space fighters are something entirely different. The line between science fiction and military reality is disappearing fast. What once seemed impossible is now just a matter of time. As these jets push the limits of technology, the big question is, who or what will be in the pilot's seat? Behind closed doors in high-tech labs across America, engineers have been building the brains of future warplanes long before a single piece of metal is cut. Before these next-generation fighters take shape, their artificial intelligence is already training in virtual battles against the world's best pilots. AI is no longer just a co-pilot, it is being designed to take over entirely. What began as basic autopilot and warning systems soon expanded to flight guidance and real-time threat analysis. Now, cutting-edge AI can autonomously execute complex combat missions, making split-second decisions faster than any human pilot. A breakthrough came with the Pentagon's Project Maven. Launched in 2017, it began by teaching AI to recognize objects in drone footage. Over time, the system evolved to track multiple moving targets, even through clouds, smoke, and electronic interference. The next generation of warplanes will look unlike anything seen before. There will be no cockpits or instrument panels, just advanced processors, cooling systems, and AI-powered decision-making packed inside a sleek, high-speed airframe. These aircraft will be more like flying supercomputers than traditional jets, controlling weapons, sensors, and engines with machine intelligence. The way these planes are built is also changing. In factories across Nevada and California, massive 3D metal printers are already shaping experimental aircraft parts. These machines create complex designs layer by layer, using titanium and carbon fiber, making structures that were previously impossible with older manufacturing methods. This advancement accelerates production at an unprecedented rate. In the past, developing and testing a new design could take several years, involving extensive prototyping, manual adjustments, and countless trial and error phases. Now, with advanced automation and AI-driven simulations, the entire process can be streamlined, reducing development time to just weeks. Engineers can rapidly iterate designs, test performance in virtual environments, and refine prototypes with real-time data, allowing for faster innovation and deployment. Engineers feed designs into simulations where AI runs countless virtual test flights, refining the aircraft before a real one is built. Only the best designs move forward, ensuring each new fighter is an improvement over the last. Military planners see an opportunity in this rapid development cycle. Instead of producing hundreds of identical jets that risk becoming outdated, they can create smaller batches that evolve over time. Each generation learns from the last, making the fleet smarter and more adaptable. Another breakthrough is the concept of smart skin. Instead of mounting separate radar and sensors, the entire surface of these aircraft will be covered in tiny sensors, turning the whole plane into a flying surveillance system. Traditional jets have blind spots, these will have none, detecting threats from all directions and instantly sharing that data with other AI-powered aircraft. This real-time connection gives AI-controlled jets a major edge. Multiple fighters can operate as a single intelligent unit, responding to threats as a team. Smaller, unmanned drone fighters, built at a fraction of the cost, can fly alongside, carrying extra weapons, scouting ahead, or even sacrificing themselves to protect the primary aircraft. But with AI-driven warfare, ethical concerns grow. Military rules state that a human must have meaningful control over combat decisions. Yet at hypersonic speeds, human reaction time simply cannot match AI decision-making measured in microseconds. The Navy has formed an advisory board to address these concerns, ensuring AI follows rules of engagement and minimizes unnecessary harm. However, programming a machine to understand restraint and proportionality remains an unsolved challenge. Technical hurdles also remain. AI-driven aircraft require immense computing power, generating extreme heat. Scientists are exploring quantum computing and advanced cooling systems to keep these machines running efficiently. And while AI has mastered strategy games like chess, aerial combat is far more unpredictable. Training AI pilots in massive simulation environments is key to sharpening their combat skills. The combination of rapid manufacturing and AI autonomy is reshaping aerial warfare. The nation that perfects this technology first will gain an overwhelming advantage, one where warplanes don't just fly, but learn, adapt, and improve with every mission. Even the most advanced fighter jet loses its edge if the enemy spots it from miles away. But what if these new warplanes could completely disappear even from human sight? The most surprising thing about the next generation of fighter jets isn't what they have, it's what they don't. The familiar vertical tails that have defined military aircraft for over a century are gone. Sharp edges and visible engine intakes are missing too. Instead, these jets have a smooth, flowing shape that looks strange to experienced pilots. With soft edges and no clear front or back from certain angles, the design defies traditional aerodynamics and stability rules. It resembles a flying triangle more than a conventional aircraft. This groundbreaking transformation is the result of decades of advancements in stealth technology. The first-generation stealth aircraft, such as the F-117 Nighthawk, relied on angular surfaces to scatter radar signals. The B-2 Spirit bomber improved upon this by incorporating smooth curved contours to further reduce detectability. Today, the most advanced designs push the boundaries even further, striving for near-total invisibility to enemy radar systems. Older planes needed vertical tails for stability, but those tails made them easy radar targets. Engineers replaced them with an advanced flow control system originally tested on the B-2. Instead of stabilizers, hundreds of tiny air jets adjust the aircraft's balance in real time. A computer makes constant corrections, ensuring smooth flight without traditional control surfaces. The aircraft's skin also enhances stealth. Radar-absorbing materials are built directly into the structure, making them more durable than older coatings that wore off. Some sections even contain carbon nanotube layers that absorb radar signals and release the energy as harmless heat. Heat detection is another challenge. Fighter jet engines produce extreme heat, making them easy targets for infrared sensors. New designs cool the exhaust before it leaves the aircraft, then spread the remaining heat over a wider area, reducing their infrared signature. This makes it harder for heat-seeking missiles to lock on. Beyond stealth, these jets are built for adaptability. Older fighters were rigidly designed, meaning upgrading one system often required redesigning the entire aircraft. The new generation features modular components, allowing engineers to swap out weapons, sensors, and avionics quickly without major overhauls. This approach cuts costs and extends the aircraft's lifespan. Instead of waiting years for a completely new model, militaries can upgrade existing jets in weeks. Experts estimate this could reduce costs by 30 to 40% compared to today's most advanced fighters. For radar operators, detecting these aircraft is becoming nearly impossible. Older stealth jets had radar signatures the size of a small bird. Today's fighters appear smaller than a marble. The goal is to become virtually invisible to radar altogether. Even spotting these jets with the naked eye is difficult. Adaptive camouflage panels on their surface can change color to blend with the sky or terrain below. While not true invisibility, this makes them extremely hard to track visually, especially from a distance. Every aspect of these jets is built for real-world combat. Critical areas are reinforced to withstand damage, maintenance access points are easier to reach, and vital systems have built-in backups. These improvements come directly from lessons learned in modern warfare. Stealth technology has always been a cat-and-mouse game. As enemy sensors evolve, stealth aircraft must adapt. With flexible designs and cutting-edge technology, these new jets are built to stay ahead, ensuring dominance in future battles. As America leads in stealth tech, others race to catch up. How did a marketing move spark a trillion-dollar power struggle? The idea of fighter jet generations didn't start with military strategists or aviation pioneers. It was a marketing move by Lockheed Martin. In the early 2000s, the company needed a way to make its new F-35 fighter stand out. The solution they came up with was to call it fifth generation, making everything else seem outdated. The term caught on. Soon, military officials, journalists, and analysts worldwide adopted the classification. Older jets were retroactively sorted into generations. The Korean War-era F-86 Sabre became first generation, the Vietnam-era F-4 Phantom was third generation, and Europe's Eurofighter Typhoon landed in the fourth generation category. What began as a sales tactic reshaped global defense strategy. Countries now felt pressured to keep up. When China unveiled its J-20 in 2011, state media repeatedly emphasized one point. It was China's first fifth-generation fighter. The message was clear. China had joined an exclusive club previously limited to the United States and Russia. India accelerated its fifth-generation program. Japan prioritized acquiring such capabilities. South Korea launched an ambitious effort to build its own next-generation fighter instead of buying from abroad. This marketing-driven shift overlooked an important fact. Before generational labels took hold, countries evaluated fighters by their capabilities, not arbitrary classifications. The French Rafale and Swedish Gripen featured advanced technologies that rivaled early fifth-generation jets. Yet they were dismissed as merely 4.5 generation. The United States officially moved towards sixth-generation fighters in 2014 with DARPA's Air Dominance Initiative, securing nearly $1 billion in early funding. By 2020, the Air Force confirmed that a demonstrator had already flown successfully, pushing rivals to accelerate their programs. China responded by reorganizing its aerospace sector, pouring funds into AI and advanced materials research. Satellite images soon revealed remote test sites where experimental aircraft could fly unobserved. Despite economic struggles, Russia pressed forward with its PAKDP program to replace the aging MiG-31. Officials highlighted its planned ability to operate at extreme altitudes, an apparent counter to United States' interest in space-capable fighters. European nations, unable to match these investments alone, formed cooperative ventures. The UK-led Tempest project partnered with Italy and Sweden, while France, Germany, and Spain joined forces on the Future Combat Air System. Both programs aim to maintain European defense independence rather than rely on American jets. Historically, new fighter generations emerge every 10 to 15 years. Now, the leap from fifth to sixth generation may take 25 to 30 years due to rising costs and complexity. Seventh-generation concepts might not enter service until the 2070s, marking the longest development cycle in fighter history. Meanwhile, the B-52 bomber offers a different approach. First deployed in 1955, it has been continuously upgraded and could serve for a century, proving that evolution sometimes beats revolution. Lockheed Martin, which started this generational race, continues teasing the future. At its Skunk Works 80th anniversary, a mystery aircraft appeared alongside historic designs like the U-2 and SR-71, potentially America's next fighter. With future programs expected to cost hundreds of billions, international collaboration is now essential. What began as a marketing ploy has reshaped global military aviation, making generational labels a defining factor in national security and defense spending. These transformations have left little to no traces of what used to be, and so did the world of military warfare. The weaponries employed for conflict resolution, defense, and even war have evolved tremendously, almost like the world has always been in this tech age. This evolution has transformed regular ships that were initially for mere transportation into an extremely important weapon of war, utilized by the Navy. These ships have been designed for several other purposes, like transporting aircrafts, but that's not all. What other purpose do these vessels serve? What nation has the largest military ship? Join us as we explore the extremely dangerous battleship that the United States just revealed. Throughout history, the ships in the world's top navies have varied in their size, power, and what they can do. As technology has advanced, so has the design of these formidable ships. They now incorporate new materials and better weapons to make them even stronger and more capable of handling different tasks and staying safe while at sea. From small ships to massive ones, navies have always been a source of pride for countries. The pressure to build the best ships and dominate the seas has created an intense competition among the world's major powers, especially in shipbuilding. Since the Second World War, the United States and Russia have been leading in terms of naval power. But China and Japan are also catching up, and quite fast in fact. Let's take a closer look at the naval forces of these countries to find out which of them have the most advanced vessel. The United States has always been the best in building advanced vessels, thanks to its advanced technology, skilled workforce, and strategic investments. American shipyards are renowned for producing some of the world's most sophisticated and powerful naval vessels, from massive aircraft carriers to advanced and equally lethal submarines. One of the best shipbuilding industries in the United States is the Newport News Shipbuilding, a division of Huntington Ingalls Industries. Located in Virginia, this shipyard is the main designer and builder of nuclear-powered aircraft carriers for the U.S. Navy, such as the USS Gerald R. Ford, which features the latest advancements in naval technology, including electromagnetic catapults and advanced arresting gear. Additionally, the shipyard constructs nuclear submarines like the Virginia-class, known for their stealth, endurance, and versatility. However, the United States is not the only nation making headway in shipbuilding. In fact, Russia and China, two major rivals of the United States and nations that are also at the forefront of technological advancement, have made significant progress in the shipbuilding industry. Russia has a profound history in naval engineering and has also continued to produce formidable vessels. Russian shipyards are known for their powerful icebreakers, essential for navigating the Arctic's icy waters. Additionally, Russia's naval capabilities include advanced submarines like the Borei class, which are crucial components of its strategic deterrence forces. On the other hand, China is also rapidly expanding its maritime capabilities, and as mentioned earlier, it is one of the best countries when it comes to shipbuilding. This country's shipyards have made headlines with the rapid construction of both commercial and military vessels. The launch of the domestically built aircraft carrier, the Shandong, was a major achievement that transformed China's navy. Also, Japan, with its long maritime tradition, also excels in producing high-quality commercial ships and technologically advanced naval vessels. Japanese shipyards are famous for their precision and craftsmanship. The Izumo-class helicopter destroyers, for instance, reflect Japan's capability to build versatile and advanced warships that enhance its maritime self-defense force. Let's check out some of these powerful vessels, beginning with Japan's Izumo-class destroyers. The Izumo-class destroyers are a fascinating and formidable addition to the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force, also known as JMSDF. These helicopter destroyers, officially classified as DDH or helicopter carrying destroyer, represent a significant achievement in Japan's naval capabilities and are recognized by both the United States Naval Institute and Jane's fighting ships, albeit with slightly different terminology. As the largest surface combatants in the JMSDF fleet, the Izumo-class ships have surpassed the previous Hyuga-class helicopter destroyers in both size and capability. The lead ship of this class, JS Izumo, was unveiled at Yokohama on August 6, 2013, marking a new era in Japan's naval defense strategy. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Izumo class is their planned modification to operate STOVL or short takeoff and vertical landing Lockheed Martin F-35B Lightning II aircraft. This capability will significantly enhance the operational flexibility and power projection of the JMSDF. However, these modifications have increased curiosity and also sparked considerable debate and controversy as they appear to challenge Japan's post-World War II pacifist constitution, which prohibits the possession of highly offensive weapons such as aircraft carriers. Despite this controversy, Japanese and United States officials have maintained that the modifications do not violate Japan's constitution. They argue that these vessels are designed for defensive purposes, a stance that highlights the delicate balance Japan navigates in maintaining a robust self-defense posture while adhering to its pacifist principles. Their ability to operate advanced aircraft like the F-35B will provide the JMSDF with a versatile and powerful tool for both defense and humanitarian missions, ensuring Japan's maritime interests are well protected in the years to come. The Japanese Ministry of Defense first announced plans for the Izumo-class destroyers on November 23, 2009. While the primary mission of these impressive ships is anti-submarine warfare, their versatile design also lends itself to peacekeeping and disaster relief operations. Another striking feature of the Izumo class is its ability to carry up to 28 aircraft, although the initial complement includes 7 ASW helicopters and 2 search and rescue helicopters. Beyond its aviation capabilities, the ship can transport 400 troops and 53.5-ton trucks, making it a critical asset for various military and humanitarian missions. Also, the expansive flight deck, equipped with 5 helicopter landing spots, facilitates simultaneous landings and takeoffs, enhancing operational efficiency. For defense, the Izumo-class destroyers are equipped with 2 Phalanx close-in weapon systems and 2 C-RAM systems. These systems ensure that these destroyers are well protected against aerial threats. These ships were initially intended to replace the aging Shirane-class destroyers, which were scheduled for decommissioning starting in fiscal year 2014. The Shirane-class destroyers were a pair of Japanese destroyers originally built during the late 1970s. They are built around a large central hangar which houses up to 3 helicopters, and they are the natural successor of the Haruna-class destroyers. The Shirane class incorporates an improved design based on the Haruna-class destroyers. The ship's propulsion includes 2 steam boilers with 2 shafts that produce 70,000 horsepower and give a maximum speed of 32 knots. Its armament includes 2 Mark 42 127mm guns, 2 20mm Phalanx close-in weapon systems, 1 surface-to-air RIM-7 Sea Sparrow launcher, torpedoes, and anti-submarine rockets. Interestingly, Forecast International reported in 2010 that some design features of the Izumo class could support fixed-wing aircraft like the Bell Boeing ViV-22 Osprey and the Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II. Although the MOD and JMSDF have not officially discussed this possibility, the ship's design hints at potential future capabilities. Notably, the Izumo class lacks a ski jump or catapult, which are typical features for launching fixed-wing aircraft, suggesting a focus on rotary wing operations for now. Construction of the first ship in the class began in 2011 at the IHI Marine United Shipyard in Yokohama, backed by a substantial budget of 113.9 billion yen, which is approximately $1.5 billion, allocated in fiscal year 2010. This investment underscores Japan's commitment to enhancing its maritime capabilities and maintaining a versatile and powerful naval presence. In September 2011, the Asahi Shimbun reported that the Ministry of Defense was planning to ask for funds to build the second ship in the Izumo class. This request was approved, and III Corporation was given the construction contract on October 2012. This project is part of the Defense Ministry's Midterm Defense Program for the years 2011 to 2015. The first ship in the class, named Izumo, was launched on August 6, 2013, and officially entered service on March 25, 2015. That would be all on the Izumo-class destroyer. Let's move on to the next ship on our list, the Wasp class. The Wasp class is a remarkable fleet of landing helicopter dock amphibious assault ships operated by the United States Navy. Designed as an evolution of the Tarawa class, these ships boast advanced capabilities to handle modern aircraft and landing craft. The Wasp class can transport nearly an entire United States Marine Corps Marine Expeditionary Unit and deploy them into hostile territory using landing craft or helicopters. They also provide formidable air support with AV-8B Harrier II attack aircraft or F-35B Lightning II stealth fighters. These versatile vessels are undoubtedly an important part of the United States Navy's amphibious operations and power projection. Notable changes in the Wasp class include a lowered bridge, relocation of command facilities inside the hull, removal of naval guns on the flight deck, and an extended length to accommodate LCACs. Each ship boasts a displacement of 40,500 long tons and measures 831 feet in length, with powerful steam boilers delivering 70,000 horsepower to achieve speeds of 22 knots in a range of 9,500 nautical miles. For amphibious operations, Wasp-class ships feature a well deck that can hold 3 LCACs, 12 landing craft mechanized, or 40 amphibious assault vehicles. The flight deck supports 9 helicopter landing spots for aircraft as large as the Sikorsky CH-53E Super Stallion and MV-22B Osprey. Depending on the mission, the air group can include up to 22 Ospreys or 20 AV-8Bs/F-35Bs, along with attack and utility helicopters. Each ship can carry almost the full strength of a Marine Expeditionary Unit, transporting up to 30,800 square feet of cargo and an additional 20,000 square feet for vehicles, including M1 Abrams tanks, AAVs, howitzers, trucks, and support vehicles. Cargo is efficiently moved via a 6-track internal monorail system and 6 internal elevators. The Wasp-class ships also have extensive medical facilities, featuring 64 patient beds and 6 operating rooms, with the capacity to expand to 536 beds in overflow casualty wards. In terms of defense, the first 4 ships are equipped with a variety of missile launchers, phalanx CIWs, chain guns, and machine guns. Later ships have slightly reduced armaments. Countermeasures include chaff and decoy launchers, torpedo decoys, missile decoys, and an advanced electronic warfare suite. All Wasp-class ships were constructed by Ingalls Shipbuilding in Pascagoula, Mississippi, with the lead ship, USS Wasp, commissioned on July 29, 1989. The USS Bataan was notable for its modular assembly process and being the first to be purpose-built to house female crew members. In 2014, Japanese Defense Minister Itsunori Onodera suggested Japan acquire a Wasp-class ship to enhance its amphibious capabilities in response to regional threats. Let's head over to France. The Charles de Gaulle stands as the flagship of the French Navy, an emblem of maritime prowess and technological advancement. Commissioned in 2001, she is the 10th French aircraft carrier and a landmark as the first French nuclear-powered surface vessel. Notably, she is the only nuclear-powered carrier built outside of the United States Navy. This vessel is so special that it is named in honor of the esteemed French President and General Charles de Gaulle. Equipped with a formidable array of aircraft, the Charles de Gaulle carries Dassault Rafale M fighters and E-2C Hawkeye surveillance planes, along with AS-365FF Dauphin Pedro, EC-725 Caracol, and AS-532 Cougar helicopters for combat search and rescue missions. Her defense systems are advanced, featuring modern electronics and Aster missiles. This France ship is a catabar, or catapult-assisted takeoff but arrested recovery carrier, boasting 2 75-meter C-13-3 steam catapults, shorter versions of those on the U.S. Nimitz-class carriers, positioned at the bow and the waist. As of July 2021, she remained the only non-American carrier with such a catapult launch system, enabling her to operate U.S. Navy F/A-18E/F Super Hornets and C-2 Greyhounds. This unique capability and her advanced technology makes the Charles de Gaulle not only a centerpiece of French naval power, but also a very important asset in international military cooperation and operations. Moving on, India also made it into this list with its INS Vikramaditya. INS Vikramaditya means brave as the sun in Sanskrit. This vessel is one of the most important ships in the Indian Navy. This formidable vessel, a modified Kiev-class aircraft carrier, joined the fleet in 2013. Originally built as the Baku and commissioned in 1987, the carrier first saw service with the Soviet Navy and later the Russian Navy under the name Admiral Gorshkov before being decommissioned in 1996. After extensive negotiations, India acquired the ship on January 20, 2004. Following a comprehensive transformation, INS Vikramaditya successfully completed her sea trials in July 2013 and her first short takeoff but arrested recovery aviation trials in September 2013. The carrier was officially commissioned on 16 November 2013 in a grand ceremony held in Severodvinsk, Russia. On 14 June 2014, Prime Minister Narendra Modi formally inducted INS Vikramaditya into the Indian Navy, dedicating her to the nation. This carrier now serves as a cornerstone of India's naval force, embodying both historical legacy and modern power. The ship's full load displacement increased from its original launch. A significant refabrication included overhauling 1,750 of the 2,500 compartments, extensive recabling for new radars and sensors, upgrading elevators, and adding restraining stands for combat aircraft. The flight deck was equipped with a ski jump for short takeoffs and arresting gears for landings, facilitating fixed-wing operations. INS Vikramaditya's modifications also included removing all original armaments to accommodate the ski jump, enhancing lift capacities, and adding 234 new hull sections. Advanced radars, electronic warfare suites, and extensive new cabling and piping were installed. The 8 original boilers were replaced with high-pressure ones, powering 4 propellers and achieving speeds over 30 knots. Modern amenities, including water treatment, sewage systems, and updated living quarters, were added. The carrier's combat systems are managed by the Lesorub-E Action Information System and the CCS Mk2 Communication Complex, supporting India's network-centric operations. Modern landing and control systems facilitate aircraft operations. Initially, the carrier lacked onboard armament, but was later fitted with AK-630 CIWs and Barak 1 SAM systems, with plans to upgrade to Barak 8 missiles. INS Vikramaditya can operate up to 34 aircraft, primarily the MiG-29K fighters, along with Sea King helicopters for ASW and Kamov Ka-31 for AEW. It is expected to serve for 40 years with minimal repairs required for the first decade, thanks to extensive refurbishment and warranty servicing by Sevmas Shipyard. Moving on to China's Liaoning aircraft carrier. Like INS Vikramaditya, the Liaoning was originally a Soviet ship. In 1985, the construction of an acoustic soft-class aircraft carrier began in the USSR, but the collapse of the Soviet Union led to a halt of construction of the ship. After 10 years of chaos, the Chinese company acquired the ship from Ukraine. The slow transportation route eventually brought the ship to Chinese waters in 2002. Another 10 years were spent on the completion of construction and modernization before the aircraft carrier was finally transferred to the People's Liberation Army fleet. With a total of 27 years elapsed between the start of construction and commissioning, Liaoning holds the record for the longest construction period of any aircraft carrier. At 997 feet long, Liaoning is one of the largest warships on Earth and the first aircraft carrier in the Chinese Navy. It accommodates 40 aircraft and has a regular crew of 1,960. Powered by steam turbines, electric turbines, and diesel generators, the ship travels at 32 knots. Like the Japanese Izumo, Liaoning carries only defensive weapons and relies on aircraft for any offensive attack. The last ship that would be explored is one that belongs to the United States Navy and is currently the largest warship ever developed, the USS Gerald R. Ford. Gerald R. Ford is not just your average aircraft carrier. It's a leap into the future of naval technology. Packed with upgrades that make its predecessor, the Nimitz class, look like yesterday's news. This ship is designed to revolutionize naval operations. In terms of performance, Ford-class carriers are very similar to the Nimitz class. The ship's length, width, deck width, speed, engines, and power of the aircraft are about the same as those of its predecessor. However, the technology behind these measurements has been greatly improved. The USS Gerald R. Ford is one of, if not the most technologically advanced active aircraft carrier in the world. Its radar system is so advanced that it has the ability to multitask thanks to the AN/SPY-3 and AN/SPY-4 radar arrays on the Gerald R. Ford do. They're like the Swiss Army knives of radar, capable of scanning multiple bands at once. And let's not forget the ship's self-defense system Mk2 Baseline 10, the brains behind the operation, ensuring the ship stays one step ahead of any threats. The island, towering 20 feet taller than those on the Nimitz class, gives it a commanding presence. And with the electromagnetic aircraft launch system, steam catapults are a thing of the past. This means more launches per day and a smaller amount of crew, saving billions in operating costs over its lifetime. Electrically powered components replace legacy steam systems. This upgrade gives the USS Gerald R. Ford 3 times the power generation capacity of the Nimitz class, making it affordable for future technological innovation. In addition, the USS Gerald R. Ford is the first Navy aircraft carrier to be fully 3-dual engineered. Both starting and stopping systems are undergoing major overhaul and improvement. The anticipated electromagnetic aircraft launching system has reduced maintenance time in the long term and has also made daily operations cheaper and easier. The cockpit is smaller and farther aft. This increases the space for flight on deck and aircraft maintenance. In addition, the smaller cockpit allows the air wing to make more sorties. Chief of Naval Operations ADM Jonathan Greenert hailed the Gerald R. Ford as a technological marvel. And he's not wrong. This ship isn't just about launching planes. It's about embracing the future of naval vessels.
Picture a dramatic scene unfolding on the vast expanse of the ocean. Russian Navy ships cautiously navigating waters, encircled by the colossal silhouettes of U.S. aircraft carriers. The air crackles with tension, each vessel a floating fortress of military might. But in this high-stakes game of maritime chess, the unexpected lurks just beneath the surface. What unseen forces brought these giants of the sea to this tense standoff? And what extraordinary twist of fate turned this confrontation into a tale that defies imagination? Join us as we delve into the captivating tale of what happens when these titans of the sea clash and fate intervenes. The Pentagon started tracking 4 Russian warships as they crossed the Atlantic Ocean for a naval exercise. These ships carried out live fire exercises, which were meant to mimic an attack on enemy vessels. When the Russian warships entered the port of Havana, it brought back memories of the Cuban Missile Crisis in October 1962. This was a tense and dangerous standoff between the United States and the Soviet Union during the Cold War, marking the closest the two superpowers ever came to nuclear conflict. The Cuban Missile Crisis was unique in many ways. It involved careful calculations, mistakes, direct and secret communications, and misunderstandings between the two nations. This high-stakes drama mostly unfolded at the highest levels of government, with President Kennedy and Soviet leader Khrushchev directly involved, while the usual foreign policy bureaucracies played a minimal role. After the failed Bay of Pigs invasion, where the U.S. tried to overthrow Fidel Castro's regime, the Kennedy administration was planning Operation Mongoose to further disrupt Cuba. In July 1962, Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev secretly agreed with Cuban Premier Fidel Castro to place Soviet nuclear missiles in Cuba as a deterrent against future U.S. invasion attempts. Construction of these missile sites began in late summer, but U.S. intelligence soon spotted a general buildup of Soviet arms in Cuba, including IL-28 bombers, during routine surveillance flights. On September 4, 1962, President Kennedy publicly warned against the introduction of offensive weapons into Cuba. Despite this warning, on October 14th, a U.S. U-2 spy plane took photos clearly showing the construction of medium-range and intermediate-range ballistic missile sites in Cuba. These images were processed and presented to the White House the next day, triggering the Cuban Missile Crisis. President Kennedy called together his closest advisors to decide on a course of action. Some advisors, including all the Joint Chiefs of Staff, pushed for an airstrike to destroy the missiles, followed by an invasion of Cuba. Others favored issuing strong warnings to Cuba and the Soviet Union. Kennedy chose a middle path. On October 22nd, he ordered a naval quarantine of Cuba. The term quarantine was used instead of blockade to avoid the legal implications of a state of war and to gain support from the Organization of American States. That same day, Kennedy sent a letter to Khrushchev, declaring that the U.S. would not allow offensive weapons to be delivered to Cuba and demanding the dismantling of the missile sites. This letter marked the beginning of a series of direct and indirect communications between the White House and the Kremlin. Kennedy also addressed the nation on television, informing the public about the situation in Cuba, his decision to enforce a quarantine, and the potential global consequences if the crisis escalated. His message was stern and echoed the Monroe Doctrine, warning that any nuclear missile launched from Cuba against any nation in the Western Hemisphere would be considered an attack by the Soviet Union, requiring a full retaliatory response. Now, in a bold statement, Vladimir Putin has issued a stark warning to the United States, highlighting the significant threat posed by Russia's vast nuclear arsenal. He emphasized that Russian warships have come dangerously close to what he calls the point of no returns, a term underscoring the gravity of the situation. According to Putin, Western efforts to inflict a strategic defeat on Russia demonstrate a dangerous level of recklessness. This declaration is particularly noteworthy as it coincided with a meeting of G7 leaders, including President Biden, in Italy. The agenda included plans to provide Ukraine with financial aid using confiscated Russian assets, a move that has infuriated Putin. He described this action as theft and vowed that the Western states would face repercussions. Ironically, experts argue that Russia doesn't even have a proper fleet. Just 2 years ago, no one believed Ukraine could withstand Russia's military power. Yet here we are in 2024, with Ukraine's fierce resistance proving all the skeptics wrong. Despite being significantly outmatched, Ukraine has managed to defend its sovereignty and push back against Russian forces, showcasing extraordinary courage against overwhelming odds. Russian naval forces were among the most formidable challenges Ukraine faced. However, through innovative strategies, resourcefulness, and international assistance, Ukraine has effectively challenged Russian naval dominance in the Black Sea and the Sea of Azov. Saying that Ukraine contested Russia's naval dominance might even be an understatement considering recent developments. Need a hint? On March 22, 2022, a Russian Raptor-class vessel was hit by a Ukrainian anti-tank guided missile, causing the high-speed coastal patrol boat to be swiftly towed away. On March 24, 2022, an Alligator-class landing ship called Saratov, docked in Berdyansk, Ukraine, caught fire. The Ukrainian Navy claimed responsibility, reporting the attack was carried out using short-range OTR-21 Tochka tactical ballistic missiles. Russia confirmed the ship was towed from the area, but gave no details about the cause of the fire. Notably, the Russian Navy had only 3 of these Cold War-era ships in active service, so this successful targeting represented a significant blow to Russia's naval capabilities. In the following days, 2 other Russian ships, the Tsezar Kunikov and the Novocherkassk, docked nearby, also fled the area under similar circumstances, fire and smoke engulfing their decks. On April 13, 2022, one of Ukraine's biggest wins in the naval theater occurred: the sinking of the Slava-class guided missile cruiser Moskva, the flagship of Russia's Black Sea Fleet. The Moskva, leading the naval assault during Russia's invasion of Ukraine, played a crucial role in the amphibious assault on Snake Island. As one of the most powerful and iconic warships in the region, its destruction was a major blow to Russia. The honor of sinking the Moskva went to 2 Neptune anti-ship missiles launched from the Crimean coast. After a massive explosion and subsequent fire, the Moskva sank a day later while being towed away, taking at least 18 sailors down with it. Some reports suggest the death toll was significantly higher. The symbolic destruction of the Moskva, named after Russia's capital, was a huge morale boost for Ukraine. Early May 2022 brought no relief to the Russian Navy. The Ukrainian forces continued their relentless attacks, causing significant damage to more Russian vessels, further challenging Russia's naval presence in the region. Ukrainian Bayraktar TB2 drones took out 4 more Raptor-class patrol boats, significantly impacting the Russian fleet, which only had about 16 of these boats to begin with. This means Ukraine eliminated over 30% of Russia's Raptors in just over a month. In the second attack, 3 boats were completely destroyed, while the 4th was damaged and towed to Sevastopol for repairs. Additionally, a BK-16 high-speed assault boat, one of only 12 in Russia's arsenal, sank near Snake Island. On May 7, 2022, the Bayraktar TB2 drones continued their successful campaign in the Black Sea by damaging a Cerna-class landing craft stationed on Snake Island. Then, on June 17, 2022, the Bygone M-class corvette Veliki Ustyug, which had previously participated in Russia's invasion of Ukraine, was seen being towed away across the Volga River in a dire state. This corvette, part of Russia's naval modernization efforts, was one of 20 in service and is now rendered inoperable by Ukraine. That same day, Ukraine also reported sinking the Russian rescue tug Vasily Bek, which was built to tow distressed ships, supply water and electricity to other vessels, evacuate injured personnel, and fight fires at sea. The Vasily Bek was hit by 2 Harpoon missiles provided by Denmark. On October 29, 2022, Ukraine's use of unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, struck again, this time targeting the Natya-class minesweeper Ivan Golubets in Sevastopol and damaging the Soviet-era vessel. However, the most significant strike that day was against the Admiral Grigorovich-class frigate Admiral Makarov. This vessel, which had become the new flagship of the Black Sea Fleet after the Moskva's sinking, was hit by at least 1 drone, reportedly disabling its radar. Admiral Makarov had also played a role in the invasion, launching cruise missiles at a Ukrainian oil refinery and fuel depots in Odessa, terrorizing the local population. Although the Russian Navy claimed the damage was minor, the frigate was out of commission until August 2023, leaving one of Russia's most advanced ships inactive for 10 months. A significant victory for Ukraine. On August 4, 2023, a coordinated effort between the Security Service of Ukraine and the Ukrainian Navy dealt a significant blow to the Russian Navy near the port of Novorossiysk, approximately 260 miles east of Sevastopol. The target was the Rapucha-class landing ship named Olenogorsky Gornyak, one of Russia's 15 most critical vessels of this type, on loan from the Northern Fleet at the time. Although the Olenogorsky Gornyak wasn't sunk, it suffered severe damage that prompted a notable shift in naval operations. Following the attack, Ukrainian reports indicated Russian ships leaving the port and dispersing throughout the Black Sea. Moving forward to September 13, 2023, Ukraine launched a daring nighttime raid on Sevastopol. Sukhoi Su-24 supersonic bombers were instrumental in targeting 2 significant Russian vessels: the improved Kilo-class attack submarine Rostov-na-Donu and another Rapucha-class landing ship named Minsk. Both ships were struck by Storm Shadow missiles, resulting in the visible destruction of Minsk and rendering Rostov-na-Donu irreparably damaged, despite Russian intentions to return them to full operational status. Complicating matters further, the Ukrainian raid also inflicted substantial damage on Sevastopol's dry dock repair facilities, hindering Russia's ability to swiftly repair its naval assets. The same attack on September 13th saw the sinking of a Tunets-class patrol boat. On September 24, 2023, Ukraine resumed its use of naval drones, damaging the Project 22160 patrol ship Sergei Kotov. Although this attack didn't sink the ship, Ukraine achieved success on March 5, 2024, when Magurafev 5 maritime drones finally sank Sergei Kotov off the Crimean coast, marking the 3rd notable sinking by Ukraine in 2024. February 2024 introduced another grim chapter in the Russo-Ukrainian naval conflict, as evidenced on February 1, 2024, when one of Russia's Tarantul-class corvettes, Ivanovets, was reportedly sunk in Donuslav, Crimea, by Magurafev 5 maritime drones. The ship's magazine detonated as it sank, resulting in a dramatic series of explosions, a fitting end for the Ivanovets. Continuing this trend, on February 14, 2024, Ukraine successfully targeted and finished off another vessel previously damaged in March 2022, further asserting its naval prowess in the ongoing conflict. The fate of the large Rapucha I-class landing ship Cesar Kunikov mirrored that of its counterpart, Novocherkassk, but with confirmation from Russian sources due to Ukrainian footage verifying its sinking. The grainy and black and white video depicts a Magura V-5 drone zipping swiftly across nighttime waters, resembling an elegant speedboat. In a dramatic showdown similar to David and Goliath, This small drone strikes the 370-foot-long behemoth, triggering a spectacular explosion. The footage captures Cesar Kunikov listing to its side before descending into the depths, carrying approximately 70 crew members. The aftermath of this incident was profound. Putin dismissed Black Sea Fleet Commander Admiral Viktor Sokolov, who was replaced promptly by Vice Admiral Sergei Pinchuk. This move underscored the severity of Ukraine's successful attacks on the Black Sea Fleet. A month later, Admiral Nikolai Yevmenov, Commander-in-Chief of the Russian Navy, also faced replacement, highlighting the strategic shakeup in response to Ukrainian military actions. Fast forward to March 23, 2024, when a Ukrainian missile strike damaged the Yuri Ivanov-class intelligence ship Ivan Kurs during an assault on Sevastopol. This ship had previously been targeted by Ukrainian drones in May 2023, marking a sustained campaign against it. Ivan Kurs plays a critical role for Russian forces, equipped with radar warning receivers and electronic surveillance devices, crucial for locating Ukrainian radars and missile installations along the Black Sea coast. Protecting this equipment is pivotal for Ukraine to maintain its defensive capabilities against Russian aerial and naval threats. The Kommuna, the Russian Navy's oldest operational ship, became the target on April 21, 2024, struck by an anti-ship missile in Sevastopol, though the extent of the damage remains undisclosed. Continuing their effective use, on May 6, 2024, Magurov-5 naval drones destroyed a Mangust-class patrol boat, valued at $3 million, used for search and rescue operations and countering subversive activities. When you add up all these attacks, it's evident why reports are celebrating the Ukrainian forces for taking down an impressive 25% of Russian ships in the Black Sea. Not bad for a country that doesn't even have a navy, right? There's even talk that Russian vessels are abandoning the Black Sea altogether, sparking hope that Ukraine might reclaim Crimea after a decade. Ukrainian Captain Dmytro Pletenchuk points out that only one loser missile ship remains in the Black Sea now. These remarkable achievements stem from Ukraine's bold and innovative asymmetric warfare tactics against a stronger but risk-averse and unimaginative opponent. Ukraine continues to devise new methods to sink Russian ships, and clearly, these methods have proven highly effective. But can Russia simply replace the ships Ukraine destroys? Historically known for its robust military-industrial complex and vast resources, Russia's situation has changed dramatically since the invasion of Ukraine. The country has mobilized fully, politically, industrially, and militarily, at a great, both figurative and literal, cost. This mobilization has drained resources that the Kremlin cannot easily replenish. Moreover, each naval vessel requires significant time and investment, both of which Russia is rapidly depleting. Even basic military supplies like shells and ammunition are being used up faster than they can be replaced. Adding to these challenges, Russian shipbuilders are facing shortages of critical engine parts, severely limiting their ability to produce new ships. Could Russia relocate existing ships from other fleets to fill the gaps? In theory, yes. However, in practice, this plan faces a major hurdle: Turkey. The dynamics in the Black Sea have shifted dramatically due to the Ukraine conflict, giving Turkey considerable leverage in the region. Under Article 19 of the Montreux Convention, which governs passage through the Bosporus and Dardanelles Straits, Turkey has closed these crucial waterways to military vessels not based in the Black Sea. This effectively blocks other Russian fleets from coming to the aid of the Black Sea Fleet in times of need. US officials have commended Turkey's decision, seeing it as a significant boost to Ukraine's security. However, there remains a lingering question. How has the United States responded to the presence of Russian vessels near Havana? Despite initially downplaying any potential threat posed by these ships as they approached, the US has taken proactive measures. This was highlighted by the United States Naval Institute, USNI, on June 11, 2024, which reported on Russia's missile tests in the Atlantic. According to USNI, the US has stationed ship spotters along its coast to closely monitor Russian activities. Additionally, the US has dispatched several of its ships, including 3 guided missile destroyers, to survey the Russian fleet. Complementing these efforts is the deployment of a P-8A Poseidon anti-submarine aircraft, specifically tasked with countering the presence of the Kazan nuclear submarine. This demonstrates a robust response aimed at matching and neutralizing any potential threats should the Russian ships deviate from their stated training objectives. A day after the USNI report, the UK's Daily Mail noted that American ships positioned themselves just off the US coastline as the Russian flotilla approached within 25 miles of Florida. The Royal Canadian Navy also joined in by deploying the HMCS Ville de Quebec, a Halifax-class frigate, to support the monitoring operation alongside the US. This coordinated effort underscores America's vigilance in closely monitoring the situation. But what if a worst-case scenario unfolds? What if Russia opts to launch an attack or engage in aggressive actions during its naval exercises? To answer these concerns, we must examine both the capabilities of Russia's vessels and the resources deployed by the United States in response. Among Russia's flotilla, the rescue tug and fleet oil tanker play supportive roles, but lack the firepower for direct naval combat. The focal points for potential conflict would likely be the Admiral Gorshkov and the Kazan submarine. The Admiral Gorshkov, the lead vessel of Russia's new Gorshkov-class multi-role frigates, commenced construction in 2005. It represents Russia's ambitious effort to modernize its naval capabilities amid America's significantly superior navy. Measuring approximately 426 feet and crewed by 200 personnel, the Admiral Gorshkov boasts formidable weaponry. Equipped with 3D air search radars, it can detect incoming aircraft and potentially intercept anti-ship missiles. Its arsenal includes a 130 mm gun mount and a 30 mm close-in weapon system, designed to defend against aerial threats with precision. Speaking of missiles, Admiral Gorshkov is armed with 8 of Russia's SS-NX-26 Yakhont cruise missiles, specialized for ship-to-ship combat against any type of naval surface vessel. These missiles are highly potent, boasting a range of 186 miles and offering a choice between a 440-pound explosive warhead or a more powerful 551-pound semi-armor piercing warhead. These capabilities make them formidable against smaller ships, especially enhanced by improvements made in 2002 with imaging infrared and active radar seekers, ensuring high accuracy. What's more, these missiles achieve speeds up to Mach 2.2, making them extremely difficult to intercept. But that's not all. The Admiral Gorshkov is also equipped with the Medvedka II anti-submarine warfare system, 21-inch torpedo tubes, and the Hurricane surface-to-air missile defense system. Not to mention its BrahMos supersonic cruise missiles, capable of delivering a 660-pound warhead over distances up to 180 miles. Additionally, there's the Zircon anti-ship cruise missile, a hypersonic weapon reportedly capable of flying at 9 times the speed of sound, with a range of about 620 miles and advanced radar seekers. These impressive armaments highlight Admiral Gorshkov's capabilities on paper, showcasing some of Russia's most advanced naval technologies. But how would the U.S. destroyers, such as the USS Donald Cook reportedly monitoring Gorshkov, fare in a direct confrontation? The USS Donald Cook, commissioned in 1998, measures 505 feet in length, making it larger than the Admiral Gorshkov. It accommodates a larger crew of 330 enlisted sailors and up to 26 officers at full capacity. While specifics on which destroyers are deployed were not fully disclosed by USNI, the presence of USS Donald Cook, as reported by the Daily Mail, suggests a robust American response. In a head-to-head scenario, the odds slightly favor the USS Donald Cook due to its size and potentially greater firepower. However, the outcome of any naval engagement would depend on numerous factors, including tactics, crew training, and the operational context in which such a confrontation might occur. The Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer is a formidable warship, equipped with an array of weaponry that would make it a significant threat to Admiral Gorshkov. At its heart is the Mk-41 vertical launching system, capable of deploying a variety of missiles suitable for any combat scenario: anti-aircraft, anti-submarine, anti-surface, and ballistic missiles. This versatility allows the destroyer to effectively counter both the Admiral Gorshkov and the Kazan submarine. In terms of its missile arsenal, the USS Donald Cook carries vertical launch anti-submarine rocket missiles, each with a range of 10 miles and a high explosive warhead weighing nearly 97 pounds. Additionally, it is equipped with Tomahawk and Harpoon missiles. The Harpoon missiles, which would likely be used against Admiral Gorshkov, can travel up to 149 miles and carry a substantial payload of 493 pounds. Although not as fast as the hypersonic missiles on Admiral Gorshkov, these missiles are powerful and can be launched in multiple salvos. Further enhancing its capabilities, the USS Donald Cook is armed with a Mk-45 5-inch lightweight gun, Mk-46 torpedoes, two 25mm machine guns, and the Phalanx close-in weapon system for defense against incoming threats. While Admiral Gorshkov boasts the Zircon hypersonic missile, capable of incredible speeds that challenge traditional defenses, the presence of 3 U.S. destroyers monitoring the Russian flotilla ensures redundancy and overwhelming force if needed. Even if one destroyer were to be overwhelmed, the others could swiftly respond, demonstrating the USS capability to project power effectively. Moving to the Kazan submarine, also known as the Yasin-M, represents a significant leap in Russia's submarine technology. As the second vessel in Russia's Yasin class, introduced in 2009, it features numerous upgrades that distinguish it as a leading asset in Russia's submarine fleet. The Royal United Services Institute describes it as the future of Russia's submarine force, highlighting its advanced capabilities aimed at showcasing Russia's naval prowess to the United States. The Kazan is a nuclear-powered cruise missile submarine capable of launching a variety of anti-ship and land attack missiles. These include the 3M-22 Zircon hypersonic missile, similar to that of Admiral Gorshkov, and the UKSK vertical launch system, equipped with 8 SM-346 modules. Each module can house significant armaments, such as 4 P-800 Onyx anti-ship missiles or 5 3M-54-1 caliber missiles, both renowned for their destructive capabilities. The P-800 missiles are variations of the SS-NX-26 Yakont cruise missiles, boasting similar range and firepower capabilities. On the other hand, the 3M-54-1 caliber, an anti-ship missile, can travel up to 186 miles and carries a formidable 461-pound warhead. Complementing these armaments are 10 533mm torpedo tubes for UGSTM wire-guided torpedoes, along with 6 324mm torpedo launchers, enhancing the submarine's defensive capabilities. The Kazan submarine, powered by a 4th-generation KTP-6 nuclear reactor, is renowned for its stealth, believed to be the quietest in the Russian fleet. Teamed with Admiral Gorshkov, it represents a potent combination in Putin's strategy to showcase Russia's naval modernization efforts. However, could the Kazan withstand an assault from the ships and aircraft deployed by the U.S. to monitor Russia's flotilla? The odds seem slim. The USS Donald Cook, alongside other destroyers, is equipped with anti-submarine defense systems that could effectively counter the Kazan's capabilities. Even if the Kazan were to successfully strike one destroyer, launching any missiles could expose its position to subsequent attacks from other U.S. naval assets. Consider the P-8A Poseidon, officially a maritime patrol and reconnaissance aircraft, but also proficient in anti-submarine warfare. With a crew of 9, it cruises at speeds around 560 miles per hour, enabling it to cover vast ocean areas. Enhanced by advanced surveillance systems like the MX-20 HD sensor turrets and AN/APY-10 maritime radar, the P-8A excels in detecting submarines. Its arsenal includes free-fall bombs, depth charges, air-to-surface missiles, and the Mk-54 torpedo, ideal for engaging both surface vessels and submarines. Even operating independently, the P-8A poses a significant threat to Kazan and Admiral Gorshkov. Coupled with the 3 U.S. destroyers, each capable of neutralizing submarines and frigates, the P-8A contributes to both reconnaissance and offensive support roles. This formidable naval presence underscores the United States' preparedness to counter any potential threats posed by Russia's maneuvers near its coast. Perhaps this explains Major Dietz's assertion that the Russian ships do not pose a direct threat to the United States. While on the surface, it acknowledges routine military exercises, it also subtly asserts the U.S. Navy's supremacy over Russian naval capabilities. Yet, Putin's objectives extend beyond power projection. Forging stronger ties with Cuba and Venezuela through joint naval exercises sends a clear message to the U.S. about Russia's influence in its own hemisphere. Russia's historical ties with Cuba, despite periodic strains since the Soviet era, remain robust, as evidenced by recent high-level meetings aimed at enhancing economic and energy cooperation. Positioned just over 200 miles from Miami, Cuba's proximity underscores its strategic importance in Russia's geopolitical maneuvers. The joint naval exercises not only signify military collaboration, but also signal to the U.S. that Russia has a dependable ally close to its borders, capable of hosting and supporting Russian naval operations. What do you anticipate the result would be if the Russian and American navies were to confront each other? Let us know your opinion in the comments below.